Maya sat on the edge of her worn-out couch, staring at her phone through blurry eyes. The apartment was quiet except for the soft whimpering coming from the bedroom, where her 2-year-old twins were finally sleeping. Well, trying to sleep. Both of them had been burning up with fever all day and she'd run out of medicine hours ago. Her hands were shaking as she scrolled through her contacts. The rent was due 3 days ago. Her landlord had already called twice today, his voice getting less friendly each time. The babysitter had texted her that morning saying she found a better-paying job and wouldn't be coming back. Everything was falling apart at once and Maya felt like she was drowning. She needed help. She hated asking for it, but she was out of options. Her friend Jessica had offered before to lend her money if things got really bad. Well, things were really bad now. Maya took a deep breath and started typing. Hey, I know this is awkward, but I don't know what else to do. The twins are sick and I can't afford their medicine right now. The rent is overdue and I'm about to lose our place. I've never asked for handouts before, you know that. But I'm completely drowning here and I don't know where else to turn. She hit send before she could change her mind. Pride was a luxury she couldn't afford anymore. Her phone buzzed almost immediately. That was fast. Jessica must have been awake. But the message that came back made her stomach drop. Who is this? What twins? Maya's heart started racing. She looked at the screen again. Really looked at it this time. The name at the top wasn't Jessica. It was a number she'd saved months ago as coffee shop business guy. Oh no. Oh no. Her cheeks burned with embarrassment as the memory came flooding back. A few months ago, this businessman had come into the small cafe where she worked. He'd needed to use the Wi-Fi for an important call and she'd helped him set it up. He'd been grateful, left a generous tip, and she'd saved his number in case the cafe owner needed it for the business account or something. She couldn't even remember why she'd kept it, and now she'd just sent him the most desperate, pathetic message of her life. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. I'm so sorry. This was a mistake. I meant to text someone else. Please just ignore that message. I'm really sorry to bother you. She wanted to throw her phone across the room. Of all the people to accidentally text, why did it have to be some random businessman? He probably thought she was trying to scam him or something. The 3 dots appeared, showing he was typing. Maya held her breath. It's okay. But I remember you now. You're the barista from Corner Cafe, right? You helped me with the Wi-Fi, Maya. She was surprised he remembered her name. She'd only told him once, months ago. Yes, that's me. Again, I'm really sorry. This is so embarrassing. Don't be embarrassed. Are your children really sick? Maya hesitated. Why was he asking? But something about the direct question made her answer honestly. Yes, they've had fevers all day. I used the last of the medicine this morning. And you're really about to lose your apartment? The rent was due 3 days ago. I get paid next week, but it'll be too late by then. She didn't know why she was telling a stranger all this. Maybe it was because he wasn't really a stranger, just someone she barely knew. Or maybe it was because she was so tired that she didn't have the energy to pretend everything was fine anymore. What happened to their father? The question stung, but Maya had gotten used to it over the years. He left when he found out I was pregnant. Said he wasn't ready to be a father. Haven't heard from him since. There was a longer pause this time. Maya watched the screen, wondering if she'd shared too much. He was probably regretting asking at this point. That must be incredibly difficult. Raising 2 children alone. It is. But they're worth it. I'd do anything for them. I can tell. The way you're fighting for them, that takes real strength. Maya felt tears welling up again. She couldn't remember the last time someone had said something kind to her like that. Most people just looked at her with pity or judgment. Another message came through. How much do you need for the rent? Maya's fingers froze over the keyboard. Was he offering to help? No, he couldn't be. He was just curious. I appreciate you asking, but I wasn't trying to ask you for money. That message really was meant for a friend. I know, but I'm asking anyway. How much? It's too much. I can't accept money from you. We barely know each other. Maya, how much? She bit her lip, then typed the number. She immediately followed it with another message. But seriously, I can't take money from you. I'll figure something out. I always do. What about the medicine for your children? What do they need? Just basic fever reducer. I'll get some tomorrow when the store opens. They're sick now, not tomorrow. He had a point. Maya looked toward the bedroom door, thinking about her babies suffering in there. She'd give anything to make them feel better right now. You're right, but the pharmacy is closed and I can't afford the 24-hour one across town anyway. What's your address? Maya stared at the message. Why? Just trust me. What's your address? Every instinct told her not to give her home address to someone she barely knew. But something in his messages felt genuine. And honestly, what did she have to lose at this point? She sent him her address, thank you. Get some rest. Check on your children. Everything is going to be okay. What do you mean? What are you going to do? But he didn't respond. Maya sat there for 10 more minutes staring at her phone, wondering what just happened. Had she made a huge mistake? Was this guy some kind of weirdo? Should she be worried? She got up and checked on the twins. Her little boy Lucas was still warm to the touch but sleeping peacefully. Her daughter Sophie had kicked off her blanket. Maya gently covered her again and kissed both their foreheads. It's going to be okay, babies, she whispered, even though she wasn't sure if she believed it herself. Mommy's going to figure this out. She went back to the couch and picked up her phone again. No new messages. Maybe he'd just been making conversation and didn't actually mean anything by it. That would make sense. Why would a successful businessman care about her problems? Maya's eyes were getting heavy. The exhaustion of the day was finally catching up with her. She set an alarm for 2 hours so she could check on the twins again, then let herself close her eyes. She had no idea that across the city, in a luxury penthouse overlooking the skyline, Alexander Chen was making phone calls that would change her life forever. The CEO of Chen Industries had just found something that all his money and success had never brought him. A purpose that mattered more than any business deal. And he wasn't going to let this young mother and her children suffer if he could do something about it. Maya woke up to someone knocking on her door. For a moment, she was confused. The apartment was still dark. She grabbed her phone and checked the time. 6 in the morning. She'd only been asleep for 4 hours. The knocking came again, more insistent this time. She stumbled to the door, still half asleep, and looked through the peephole. A woman in a professional Navy suit stood outside holding a medical bag. Maya's heart started racing. Was something wrong? Had something happened? She opened the door cautiously, keeping the chain lock on. Can I help you? The woman smiled warmly. Good morning. I'm Dr. Patterson. I'm here to examine your children. I'm sorry, what? I didn't call a doctor. Someone arranged for me to come. May I come in? I promise I'm here to help. Maya's mind was spinning. Who would send a doctor to her apartment? Then it hit her. The businessman from last night. Alexander something. But how? Why? I need to see some ID first, Maya said, trying to sound more confident than she felt. The doctor didn't seem offended. She pulled out her medical license and hospital ID. Everything looked legitimate. Maya's protective instincts were still on high alert, but her babies were sick, and here was a real doctor offering help. She opened the door. Dr. Patterson was gentle and thorough with the twins. She checked their temperatures, listened to their breathing, looked in their throats and ears. Lucas had an ear infection. Sophie had a respiratory virus. Nothing life-threatening, but both needed medication and rest. I'll write prescriptions for both children, Dr. Patterson said, pulling out her tablet. The pharmacy will deliver everything within the hour. Wait, I can't afford a house call doctor, Maya said, panic rising in her voice. I didn't agree to this. It's already taken care of, everything, the consultation, the medications, the follow-up visit next week. You don't owe anything. By who? Who's paying for this? Dr. Patterson just smiled kindly. Someone who cares about your children getting better. That's all I can say. Now let me show you how to administer these medications. After the doctor left, Maya stood in her tiny kitchen, completely overwhelmed. This was too much. She didn't even know this Alexander person. Why was he doing this? Her phone buzzed. How are the twins this morning? Maya stared at the message. She should be grateful. She was grateful. But she was also confused and a little scared of owing someone she barely knew. A doctor just left. She said you sent her. Did she help? Yes, but I can't accept this. This is too much. Your children needed medical care. Now they have it. That's all that matters, but I don't even know you. Why are you doing this? There was a pause before his response came through. Because no child should suffer when I have the ability to help, and because you remind me that there are still genuine people in this world. Before Maya could respond, there was another knock at the door. This time it was a pharmacy delivery. 2 bags full of medications, all labeled with her children's names and clear instructions. All paid for. Maya felt tears running down her cheeks. She couldn't remember the last time someone had helped her like this, without asking for anything in return, without making her feel small or pitiful. "Thank you," she texted. "I don't know how I'll ever repay you, but thank you. You don't need to repay me. Just take care of those babies." Over the next few days, Maya waited for the other shoe to drop, for Alexander to ask for something in return, for there to be some catch to his kindness. But nothing came. Just occasional check-in messages asking how the twins were feeling. Then, a week later, her landlord called. "Maya, I need to talk to you about something strange that happened." Her stomach dropped. Here it comes, she thought. "The eviction notice. Someone paid your rent," he said, confusion in his voice. "Not just this month. The next 6 months, all of it. In full." Maya almost dropped her phone. "What, who?" "I don't know. It came through a lawyer's office. Some firm downtown. They said their client wanted to remain anonymous but wanted to ensure you had stable housing. Did you win the lottery or something?" I have no idea," Maya lied. But she did know. Of course she knew. She immediately called Alexander's number. It rang 4 times before he picked up. "Maya, is everything okay? Are the twins? You paid my rent." 6 months of rent. Is that a question or a statement? "Alexander, why? This is too much." "Way too much, is it? Because from where I'm sitting, it seems like the bare minimum to ensure 2 children have a roof over their heads." "But you don't owe me anything. You don't even know me. Then let me get to know you. Is that allowed?" Maya sat down on her couch, her legs suddenly weak. "What do you mean?" "I mean, I'd like to keep talking to you. These past few days, texting with you, hearing about the twins, about your life, it's been the most real conversation I've had in years. Everyone around me always wants something. But you keep trying to give my help back. It's refreshing. I'm not trying to be refreshing. I'm trying to not be a charity case. You're not a charity case. You're a mother doing everything she can for her children. There's nothing pitiful about that. It's actually pretty remarkable." Maya didn't know what to say. Part of her wanted to be angry, to maintain her pride and tell him to stop interfering in her life. But another part of her, the exhausted part that had been carrying everything alone for so long, wanted to just accept that maybe, just maybe, the universe was throwing her a lifeline. "Okay," she said quietly. "We can keep talking, but no more big gestures like this without asking me first, please. Deal. Now tell me, how's Lucas's ear infection?" And just like that, they fell into an easy conversation. Alexander asked about the twins' personalities, their favorite foods, the little things that made them laugh. Maya found herself opening up, sharing stories she hadn't told anyone in years. Over the following weeks, texting with Alexander became part of her daily routine. Good morning messages, pictures of the twins doing silly things, his stories about growing up, about losing his mother when he was young, about feeling lonely despite being surrounded by people all the time. Maya learned he loved old movies and terrible puns, that he'd built his business from almost nothing, that he valued honesty above everything else because too many people had lied to him over the years. What she didn't know was that Alexander wasn't just some successful businessman. He was one of the most powerful CEOs in the country. She didn't know that he'd quietly bought the struggling cafe where she worked to prevent it from closing and laying off its employees, including her. She didn't know that he'd arranged for her manager to offer her a promotion with better pay, making it seem like it was based purely on her performance. Alexander kept these details to himself. For the first time in his adult life, someone was getting to know him for who he was, not what he could do for them. Someone who argued with him when he tried to help too much. Someone who made him laugh with stories about toddler tantrums and the chaos of raising twins alone. His assistant, Rachel, had noticed the change in him. He smiled more. He seemed less stressed. He actually left the office on time some days. "Sir, I don't mean to pry," Rachel said one afternoon. "But you've been different lately, happier. Is everything all right?" Alexander looked up from his phone where Maya had just sent him a photo of Sophie covered head to toe in spaghetti sauce. "Yeah, Rachel. Everything's more than all right. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm doing something that actually matters." What he didn't realize was that this feeling was about to lead him to make a decision that would change everything. The twins' 3rd birthday was coming up, and Maya had mentioned wanting to do something special for them. Something they'd never experienced before. Alexander was already making plans. Big plans. The kind of plans that would reveal who he really was and thrust Maya into a world she never asked to be part of. But that was a problem for next week. Right now he had a video call scheduled. Maya had finally agreed to let him see the twins on screen, and he wasn't going to miss that for anything. Maya woke up on the morning of the twins' third birthday to a text message that made her read it 3 times to make sure she wasn't still dreaming. There's a car waiting for you downstairs. The driver has an envelope with your name on it. Trust me on this one. Happy birthday to Lucas and Sophie. She looked out her window. Sure enough, there was a sleek black car parked in front of her building. Not just any car. The kind of car she'd only seen in movies. Her heart was pounding as she got the twins dressed. They were bouncing with excitement, asking if today was really their birthday, if they were going to have cake, if they'd get presents. Maya had planned a simple party at the park with a homemade cake. Nothing fancy, but it would have been enough. Now she had no idea what was happening. The driver was a kind older man who smiled when he saw the twins.
He handed Maya a cream-colored envelope with her name written in elegant handwriting. Inside was a simple note. Every child deserves to see the ocean on their birthday.
Everything is arranged. Just enjoy the day. Alexander, the ocean? Maya whispered. They lived 2 hours from the coast. She'd always wanted to take the twins to see it, but between work and money and just surviving day to day, it had remained a dream. Ma'am, if you're ready, we should get going, the driver said gently. We have a schedule to keep. Maya strapped the twins into the car seats that had been perfectly installed in the back. Lucas and Sophie pressed their faces against the windows, amazed by the fancy car. Maya's mind was racing. This was too much. Way too much. But the twins were so excited, and she didn't have the heart to turn back now. The drive felt like it took forever and no time at all. The twins sang songs, asked a million questions, and eventually fell asleep holding hands in their car seats. Maya stared out the window, her emotions a tangled mess of gratitude, anxiety, and something else she was afraid to name. When they arrived at the marina, Maya's breath caught in her throat. Boats of all sizes filled the harbor, their white sails and polished surfaces gleaming in the morning sun. The driver pulled up to a private dock where a massive yacht was waiting, and standing on the dock, wearing jeans and a simple white shirt, was Alexander. Maya had only seen him once before, months ago in the cafe. She'd barely paid attention to him then, too busy with her shift to really look. But now in the morning light she really saw him. Tall, probably in his mid-30s, with dark hair and eyes that looked both confident and uncertain at the same time. Surprise, he said, walking over as she got out of the car. Happy birthday to Lucas and Sophie. Alexander, I don't even know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I just wanted to give them a special day. Is that okay? Before Maya could answer, Lucas woke up and spotted the boat. Mommy, look, big boat. Sophie's eyes went wide when she saw it. We go on boat? Alexander knelt down to their level. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Sophie. I'm Alexander. Yes, we're going on the boat today. Would you like that? Both twins nodded enthusiastically, any shyness forgotten in their excitement. The yacht was even more incredible inside. The crew greeted them warmly, and Maya noticed they'd prepared everything for children. Safety rails, life jackets in tiny sizes, soft cushions everywhere. Someone had really thought this through. As the yacht pulled away from the dock, Maya stood at the railing with Alexander, while the twins explored under the watchful eye of a crew member who'd introduced herself as a trained nanny. I can't believe you did all this, Maya said quietly. I wanted to. These past few months talking to you, hearing about the twins, it's meant more to me than you know. I wanted to meet them, to see the little people you talk about with so much love. But this must have cost a fortune. Alexander shrugged. Money isn't real to me anymore. It's just numbers. But this? Watching those kids see the ocean for the first time. That's real. Maya looked at him, really looked at him. Who are you, Alexander? Really? You're not just some businessman, are you? He met her eyes, and she saw vulnerability there. Does it matter? I don't know. Maybe. I just feel like I don't really know you, and you've done all these incredible things for us. You know me better than most people, Maya. You know I lost my mom when I was 10. You know I hate mushrooms and love old westerns. You know I can't sing to save my life. You know I think your strength is amazing. Isn't that the stuff that matters? Before Maya could respond, Sophie came running over. Mommy, come see, fish. The rest of the morning was magical. They saw dolphins jumping alongside the boat, which made both twins scream with delight. Alexander sat on the deck with them. and Maya watched in amazement as this successful, wealthy man played peekaboo and made silly faces without a hint of self-consciousness. The crew brought out a birthday cake shaped like a boat, with 3 candles on top. They sang happy birthday while the twins bounced with joy. Lucas got frosting all over his face. Sophie insisted on feeding some cake to Alexander, who pretended it was the most delicious thing he'd ever tasted. Maya felt tears sliding down her cheeks. Not sad tears, happy ones. She couldn't remember the last time she'd felt this light, this free from worry. Watching her babies laugh and play, seeing them so purely happy, it was everything she'd ever wanted for them. Alexander noticed her tears. "Are you okay?" "I'm more than okay. This is the best day they've ever had. Thank you doesn't feel like enough. Seeing you smile like this is thanks enough." As the sun started to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the twins finally wore themselves out. They curled up on the cushioned seating area, their little bodies pressed together like they always slept. Maya and Alexander sat nearby watching them sleep, the ocean stretching endlessly around them. "I haven't been completely honest with you," Alexander said quietly. Maya's stomach dropped. Here it comes, she thought. The catch? The thing he wants in return. I'm not just a businessman. I'm the CEO of Chen Industries. I have a lot of money, a lot of responsibility that comes with it. Maya had heard of Chen Industries. Everyone had. They were huge. One of the biggest companies in the country. "You're that Alexander Chen?" He nodded. "I didn't tell you because I liked that you didn't know. You talked to me like a normal person. You argued with me when I tried to help too much. You saw me, not my bank account. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything. I just wanted you to know before—" He stopped talking suddenly, his face going pale. He was looking at something on his phone. What's wrong?" Alexander showed her his screen. It was a news article. The headline made Maya's blood run cold. "Mystery CEO's secret family day out." There was a photo of them. Alexander kneeling with the twins on the dock. Maya laughing at something Sophie said. The 3 of them looking exactly like a family. "Oh no," Maya whispered. Alexander's phone started ringing, then ringing again. Message notifications started pouring in. Maya checked her own phone. 3 missed calls from her boss. Text messages from coworkers asking if she was okay. "How did they get this picture?" Maya asked, her voice shaking. "There must have been photographers at the marina." "I'm so sorry. I didn't think—" "You didn't think what? That parading around with some random single mom would make the news? You're Alexander Chen." She didn't mean to yell, but panic was setting in. Her face was all over the internet. Her children's faces. Their private perfect day was being picked apart by strangers. "Maya, please. I'll fix this. My lawyers will—" "Your lawyers?" "Alexander, I can't fight lawyers and reporters and whoever else. I'm just trying to raise my kids in peace." Lucas stirred in his sleep, whimpering. Maya immediately went to him, scooping him into her arms. Sophie woke up too, sensing something was wrong. "I think we need to go back," Maya said quietly. "This was a mistake. Maya, please." "No. This whole thing, you and me, it was crazy from the start. We live in completely different worlds. I see that now." The ride back to shore was silent except for the twins asking why everyone looked sad. Maya held them close, her mind racing with worst-case scenarios. What if reporters showed up at her apartment? What if they showed up at the twins' daycare? When the car dropped them off at her building, Alexander tried one more time.
"Can we please talk about this?"
"I need time to think," Maya said, not looking at him. "Thank you for today. The twins had a wonderful time. But I need to figure out how to protect them from all of this." She took the twins inside without looking back. It was only when she closed her apartment door that she let herself cry. Her phone buzzed. "Alexander, I'm sorry. I never meant for any of this to happen. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right." Maya didn't respond. She didn't know what to say. Because the truth was, despite everything, despite the fear and the panic and the invasion of privacy, part of her didn't want this to be the end. And that scared her most of all. Maya didn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the headline. Her face, her children's faces, strangers discussing her life like she was some character in a story, not a real person. By morning, it had gotten worse. So much worse. She made the mistake of looking at social media. The comments were brutal. Some people called her a gold digger. Others said she was using her kids to trap a rich man. A few defended her, but their voices were drowned out by the cruel ones. Single mom finds her meal ticket. Those poor kids being used as pawns. He can do so. Much better than some nobody. Each comment felt like a punch to the gut. These people didn't know her. Didn't know how hard she worked. How she'd fought to give her children a good life. They saw one photo and decided they knew everything. Her phone rang. Her boss at the cafe. Maya, I'm sorry, but I need you to take some time off. We've had reporters coming by asking about you. It's disrupting business, and time off? I can't afford time off, paid leave. Just until this all blows over. I'm sorry, Maya wanted to scream. This wasn't fair. She hadn't asked for any of this. When she dropped the twins at daycare, the other mothers stared. Some whispered behind their hands. One of them, a woman named Patricia who'd always been friendly before, actually pulled her child away when Lucas tried to say hello. The daycare director pulled Maya aside. I'm sure you understand this is a delicate situation. Some parents are concerned about the media attention. Are you asking me to take my kids out of daycare? No, of course not. Just perhaps keep a low profile for a while. Maya left feeling humiliated and angry. Keep a low profile? She'd been keeping a low profile her entire life. She wasn't the one who'd invited this circus. Her phone buzzed constantly with messages from Alexander. She'd been ignoring them, but finally she read one. I'm handling this. My PR team is working on a statement. Please let me fix this, she typed back quickly. You can't fix this. This is my life you've destroyed. I never meant for this to happen. Please, Maya, let me make this right. How? How do you make random strangers stop saying horrible things about me? How do you make people stop looking at my children like they're part of some scandal? I'm doing a press conference today. I'm going to tell them the truth. What truth? That you felt sorry for some poor single mom and threw money at her problems? That'll make everything so much better. She regretted the message as soon as she sent it. She knew Alexander cared. She knew his intentions had been good. But she was hurt and scared and didn't know how to handle any of this. That afternoon, Maya turned on the news. There he was, standing behind a podium, camera flashes going off like crazy. He looked tired, she noticed, and worried. I'd like to address the recent photos and speculation, Alexander began, his voice steady, but Maya could hear the tension in it. Maya Martinez is not some scandal or scheme. She's one of the most remarkable people I've ever met. Maya's breath caught. She sat down on her couch, unable to look away. A few months ago, she accidentally sent me a text message meant for someone else. She was desperate, trying to help her sick children, and I happened to be the wrong number she reached. She could have asked me for anything. Instead, she apologized for bothering me and tried to handle everything herself. Alexander paused, looking directly into the cameras. She didn't know who I was. She didn't want my help. I had to convince her to accept it, and even then, she fought me every step of the way. That's not a gold digger. That's a proud, strong mother who's been dealt a difficult hand and played it with more grace than I've seen from anyone in my world. She didn't chase me. She didn't use her children. She's been nothing but genuine and real in a life where those qualities are rare. If the world has a problem with me caring about someone like that, then maybe the problem isn't with her. Maybe it's with all of us. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. She heard her phone buzzing with messages from people she knew, but she couldn't look away from the screen. A reporter shouted a question. Are you in a relationship with this woman? Alexander hesitated. That's between Maya and me. What I will say is that she deserves respect and privacy. Her children deserve to grow up without cameras following them, and I will do everything in my power to ensure they get both. Another reporter. Your board must be concerned about this affecting the company. The board will be fine. Chen Industries' success isn't dependent on my personal life, and if anyone has a problem with me being friends with a hard-working single mother, they can take it up with me directly. Maya watched as Alexander fielded more questions, each time defending her, never making excuses, just stating facts. When it was over, she sat in the silence of her apartment, not sure what to feel. Her phone rang. It was Alexander, she answered. I just watched. I meant every word. I know. That's what makes this so complicated. Maya, I know I've made your life harder. That was never my intention. I just wanted to help, and maybe selfishly I wanted to be part of something real for once. What does that even mean? It means everyone in my life wants something from me. Money, connections, opportunities, but you argued with me about accepting help. You tried to give everything back. You saw me as just some guy, not a walking bank account. Do you know how rare that is? Maya was quiet for a moment. Your world is so different from mine, Alexander. Today proved that. I can't handle reporters and photographers and people picking apart every choice I make. You won't have to. I've hired security for you and the twins, just temporarily until this dies down, and my lawyers are already sending cease and desist letters to anyone who publishes photos of your children. You're doing it again, throwing money at the problem? Then what do you want me to do? Tell me and I'll do it. Maya stopped. What did she want? She wanted her simple life back. But that wasn't possible now. I want time. I need to think about all of this, about what it means for the twins. Okay, I can give you time, but Maya, don't shut me out completely, please. I won't, I just need space right now. Over the next 2 weeks, Maya kept her distance. She saw the security team Alexander hired, always keeping a respectful distance but making sure no reporters got near her or the twins. She read the news articles about Alexander's lawyers shutting down gossip sites that went too far. She noticed that the story was slowly dying down as newer scandals took its place. The twins asked about Alexander constantly. When Mr. Alexander come back? Sophie would ask at bedtime. Lucas drew pictures of boats and insisted they were for our friend. Their innocent questions broke her heart. They didn't understand why the nice man who'd given them the best day of their lives had suddenly disappeared. Maya's resolve was weakening. She missed him. She missed their conversations, his terrible jokes, the way he listened when she talked about her day. She missed feeling like someone understood her. But every time she thought about reaching out, she remembered the headlines, the cruel comments, the way people had looked at her children. Could she really bring that kind of chaos into their lives? Then, one night at 2 a.m, Lucas woke up crying. Not his normal cry. Something was wrong. His fever was back higher than before. He was lethargic, barely responding when she called his name. Sophie woke up too, scared by her brother's cries. Maya tried everything. Cool compresses, medicine, gentle words. Nothing worked. Lucas's fever kept climbing. She grabbed her phone to call 911, but her hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold it. Fear gripped her chest. What if something was really wrong? What if she couldn't handle this alone? Before she even realized what she was doing, she opened her messages. Her fingers found Alexander's name. I know I said I needed space, but I'm scared. And Lucas is really sick and I don't know what to do and I need you. She hit send before she could change her mind. The response came in less than 30 seconds. I'm on my way. Hang on, Maya, I'm coming. Maya sat on the bathroom floor, holding her burning son, her terrified daughter pressed against her side, and waited. She'd pushed Alexander away to protect her children. Now she was calling him back for the same reason. Maybe that meant something. Maybe it meant everything. She heard sirens in the distance, getting closer. Alexander had probably called an ambulance. Of course he had. That's who he was. The man who showed up. The man who helped without asking questions. For better or worse, he was part of their lives now. And as Maya watched Lucas struggle with fever, she realized she didn't want to face this alone anymore. She was ready to stop running. The ambulance arrived first, but Alexander was right behind it. Maya watched through her apartment window as he jumped out of his car before the driver had even fully stopped. He took the stairs instead of waiting for the elevator. When he burst through her door, slightly out of breath, his hair messy like he'd just rolled out of bed, Maya felt something inside her chest crack open. Where is he? Alexander asked. Bedroom. The paramedics are with him now. Sophie was clinging to Maya's leg, her little face streaked with tears. Alexander knelt down to her level without hesitation. Hey, Sophie. Remember me? Your brother's going to be okay. These people are doctors. They're going to help him feel better. Luke is sick, Sophie whimpered. I know, sweetheart, but your mom called for help and now everyone is here to make sure he gets better. You're being so brave. One of the paramedics came out. We need to take him to the hospital. His fever is too high and he's showing signs of dehydration. Mom should ride with us. What about Sophie? Maya's voice broke. I can't leave her alone. I've got her, Alexander said immediately. I'll bring her to the hospital. Or I can stay here with her if you think that's better. Maya looked at her daughter, then at Alexander. 2 weeks ago, she'd pushed him away. Now here he was in the middle of the night offering to help without a single complaint. Take her to the hospital, please. She'll be scared without me, but she trusts you. The next few hours were a blur. Lucas had a severe infection that required immediate IV antibiotics. The doctors said if Maya had waited even a few more hours, it could have been much worse. Maya sat by Lucas's hospital bed, holding his small hand, watching the IV drip medicine into his arm. He looked so tiny in the big hospital bed, so vulnerable. Alexander kept Sophie entertained in the waiting room. When Maya checked on them, she found him sitting on the floor with her daughter, reading a children's book in different silly voices. Sophie was actually giggling, the dragon said in his big, scary voice. Alexander made his voice deep and dramatic. I want to eat cookies. Sophie laughed. Dragons don't eat cookies. This dragon does. He's a very confused dragon. Maya felt tears on her cheeks again. But these weren't sad tears. Around 5 in the morning, Lucas's fever finally broke. He opened his eyes and saw Maya. Mommy? I'm here, baby. I'm right here. I don't feel good, I know. But you're going to be okay now. The medicine is helping. Where's Sophie? She's with Alexander. Remember him? From the boat? Lucas nodded sleepily. He's nice. He made funny voices. Maya smiled through her tears. Yeah, he is nice. The doctors wanted to keep Lucas for observation for another day. Alexander brought Sophie in to see her brother, who was already looking better. She climbed carefully onto the bed and hugged him. You scared me, Sophie said seriously. Sorry, Lucas mumbled. I was scared too. Alexander pulled Maya aside while the twins talked quietly together. There's a private room available. More comfortable. I can arrange— No, Maya said, but her voice was gentle. This room is fine. But thank you for everything. For coming, for taking care of Sophie, for not making me feel stupid, for pushing you away and then calling you back. You're not stupid. You were protecting your kids. That's what good parents do. Can we talk? Really talk? I'd like that. They found a quiet corner in the hospital cafeteria. Maya bought them both terrible coffee from a vending machine. Alexander drank it without complaint. I was scared, Maya started. Not just of the reporters and the attention. I was scared of needing you. Of my kids needing you. Because people leave, Alexander. Lucas and Sophie's father left without looking back. My own parents gave up on me when I got pregnant. I've learned that depending on people only leads to disappointment. I'm not going anywhere. You say that now. But your life is so complicated. You have a company to run, board members to answer to, a world I don't understand. What happens when this gets too hard? When being associated with me causes you more problems? Alexander was quiet for a moment. Can I tell you something? About my mom? Maya nodded. She died when I was 10, cancer. Before she got sick, she used to tell me that money and success were fine, but they weren't what made life meaningful. She said the only things that really mattered were the people you loved, and whether you showed up for them when it counted. He looked down at his coffee. I've spent 20 years building a company, making money, achieving everything I was supposed to achieve. And I've been miserable. Not because the work is bad, but because it felt empty. Then I got your text message, this desperate, honest plea from someone who needed help. And for the first time in years, I had a chance to actually matter to someone. You matter to lots of people. No, lots of people need my money or my connections. That's different. You fought me on accepting help. You tried to give everything back. You saw me as just Alexander, not Alexander Chen, CEO. Do you know how much that meant to me? Maya reached across the table and took his hand. The twins ask about you every day. They draw you pictures. Sophie wants to know when you're coming back. Lucas tells everyone about the boat. You've become important to them. And to you? Yes, Maya admitted. To me too. That's what scares me. What if we try this and it doesn't work? What if your world and my world are just too different? Then we'll figure it out together. Maya, I'm not asking you to fit into my world. I'm asking if we can build something new, something that works for both of us. For all of us, what about your company? Your board? All those people who had problems with me? My assistant Rachel said something to me last week. She said she'd never seen me happy until I met you and the twins. She said if something makes me that happy, I'd be a fool to let it go because other people have opinions. And she's right. What are you saying? I'm saying let me be part of your life, not by throwing money at things. Though I'll probably still do that sometimes because it's how I solve problems. But by being there, by showing up, by being someone you can call at 2 in the morning when you're scared. That's what you did tonight. And I'll do it again. Every time. For as long as you'll let me. Maya looked at this man who'd entered her life by accident and somehow become essential. Okay, but we take this slow. We figure this out as we go. And if it gets too complicated or starts hurting the twins, we stop and reassess. Deal. And no more surprise yachts without warning me first. Alexander laughed. I can't promise that, but I'll try. They sat there in the hospital cafeteria as the sun started to rise, making plans. Real plans. About dating carefully, about keeping the twins' routine stable, about how to handle media attention if it came back. 6 months later, Maya stood in front of a small building with a grand opening sign. Her own cafe. She'd gotten a business loan, worked with advisors Alexander had recommended but not paid for, and built something that was entirely hers. Alexander stood beside her, holding Sophie's hand while Lucas held Maya's other hand. Are you ready? Alexander asked. I'm terrified. Good. That means it matters. The cafe was everything Maya had dreamed of. Warm and welcoming, with a kids' corner where Lucas and Sophie could play while she worked. Photos on the walls of regular people, real stories, not polished magazine pictures. Alexander came by every day, always ordering the same terrible black coffee. Sometimes he brought his laptop and worked from a corner table. Sometimes he just sat and talked to Maya between customers. The twins had their own special table where they did coloring while waiting for their mom's shift to end. People still recognized him sometimes. Occasionally someone would take a photo, but the story had changed. They weren't a scandal anymore. They were just a couple figuring things out, building a life together piece by piece. One evening, after closing the cafe, Maya found Alexander in the kids' corner. Lucas and Sophie had fallen asleep on him, one on each side. He was trapped, but he was smiling. Need help? Maya whispered. Nah, I'm good right where I am. Maya sat down across from them, looking at this makeshift family they'd built. It wasn't perfect. Some days were hard. Alexander's work was demanding. Her cafe struggled sometimes. They argued about how much help was too much help, but they showed up for each other. Every single time. Hey, Maya, Alexander said softly, careful not to wake the twins, yeah? I'm glad you texted the wrong number that night. Maya smiled. Me too. Best mistake I ever made. A year after that, Alexander proposed on the same yacht where everything had changed. Not with some big public gesture, but with just the four of them sailing into the sunset. Lucas and Sophie were flower kids at the wedding. Small ceremony, close friends only, no press allowed. And when Maya said, I do, she wasn't saying yes to the money or the lifestyle or the fancy things. She was saying yes to the man who'd shown up at 2 a.m. The man who made funny voices to make her kids laugh. The man who'd seen her at her lowest and decided she was worth fighting for. Sometimes the wrong number turns out to be exactly the right one. And sometimes, when you're brave enough to ask for help, you find something you didn't even know you needed. A family, a partner, a home. Not because someone rescued you, but because you both chose to build something beautiful together.